Yo, it's your boy. So about the Madden video. Today's video, we're going over the Week 15 post-power ranking. So, Week 15, it just ended after Monday night. We were able to get a doubleheader of the Raiders versus the Falcons and the Bears versus the Vikings. And now we are ready to rank the teams and see how every team is doing. We're getting around that time where it's right around playoff times. You kind of know, have a good feeling of who the playoff teams are going to be. But we still have a good amount of teams in the hunt, obviously. So let's go and see where everyone's ranked. Starting off at the bottom of the barrel, 32 through 29. We got 32, the Las Vegas Raiders. I really don't think that's that surprising. They've been pretty bad this season. Only got 9 points in their most recent game. Desmond Ridder, they're on their third quarterback. Desmond Ridder. And Max Crosby's out for the season. Power rankings will be taken to everything to effect, like injuries, depth chart, strength of schedule, record, all that fun stuff. 31, we got the New York Giants. They're on their third quarterback, too. So, New York Giants and Las Vegas Raiders really hasn't been good for them. Their record is also pretty bad. Tennessee Titans, they actually competed fairly well against the Bengals. That's why they're going to go up a spot. They did lose, but I do think they should be a little bit ahead of the Giants just because the Titans didn't play horrible against the Bengals. Will Levis didn't play that great. I did see he had 2 or 3 interceptions, so that is not good. And Will Levis really needs to figure it out if he's going to be the franchise guy there. It's starting to look like he's really not going to be. 29, we got the New England Patriots. They didn't move at all after losing to the Arizona Cardinals. They did lose, but I feel like they got a better roster and everything's flowing for them better than the Tennessee Titans. 28, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars have had a pretty bad season, and they are coming off a loss against the New York Jets. But it was fairly close, so, they're going to stay around this spot. Again, when you're around these teams, it's pretty hard to justify moving them back because there's only so many spots they can go back because they're at the bottom. 27, you got the Cleveland Browns. They performed all right against the Kansas City Chiefs. The only thing is the offense was lacking, and the defense actually wasn't too bad. But the offense was, they only had 7 points against the Kansas City Chiefs. That is kind of one of the better defenses, but still, you can't score 7 points and expect to win a football game. You at least, bare minimum, need to put up 2 touchdowns. You at least need 14 points, and that's still not even a pretty win, and you probably won't win most of the time, obviously. But yeah, the Cleveland Browns, and Myles Garrett just got injured as well, so that's going to hurt their power rankings a little bit. The Chicago Bears are not moving back, even though they did have a pretty embarrassing loss, but I feel like they're more functional right now than the Cleveland Browns. They got a little bit more going for them. And their roster is honestly not that bad. I don't know why they're losing so much. Maybe they can really start to figure it out. The Carolina Panthers sitting at 25, not really moving either. 24, we got the New York Jets. They're going to move 3 spots. They had a pretty good win. The defense could have been a tad better if I'm just going to complain, but Aaron Rodgers actually looked good, and that is what the New York Jets expected from Aaron Rodgers when they got him. Devontae Adams looked good as well. Yeah, so everything was clicking for the offensive side of the ball for the New York Jets. At 23, we got the Indianapolis Colts moving back 1. That was a pretty embarrassing loss to the Broncos. You got Bo Nix throwing 3 interceptions, and you telling me you were only able to get 2 touchdowns scored in that game? I think they won the turnover battle. Normally, if you win the turnover battle, you win the football game. Not if you're the Indianapolis Colts, apparently. I don't know how the Colts did not turn that into a victory. 22, we got the New Orleans Saints. Now, they did lose, but they played a hell of a game against the Washington Commanders, and they easily could have won if they didn't go for 2. I get you want to be aggressive and go for 2, but it doesn't always work out sometimes. There is times to be aggressive, there are times not to be aggressive. If they're really trying to fight for a playoff spot, which who knows, maybe they just did that to maybe help their draft position. You never really know. I highly doubt a head coach would actually do that, especially an interim head coach on his first year. The Rizzi special teams coordinator that just got moved to head coach. But still, they played a pretty good game against the Commanders. It came down to 1 point. Now, the 49ers being 21, and they are moving a lot back from where they were last week. I know it says in the graphic they went up one. They didn't. Just ignore it. The software we used would not let me change it, so I apologize for that inconvenience. But the 49ers are moving back a great deal from where they were in the previous week, as they should. I mean, come on. The 49ers, they really need to get their head out of their ass here. If they want to make playoffs, this division is up for grabs. The NFC West used to be one of the best divisions in football like 2 years ago. Now it is one of the softest, or at least it's looking that way right now. I mean, the division is literally anybody's, and you need Brock Purdy to start clicking. You need Nick Bosa to start clicking. You need guys to be healthy, stay healthy. I know not all of it is just performance-wise. Some of it is just a little bit of being unlucky, but still, the 49ers got to figure it out soon, man. They really do. They are kind of in the situation where the Bengals are, where if they'll even make playoffs or not. Now we got the teams ranked from 20 to 17 after my 49ers rant. 20, we got the Atlanta Falcons. They're going to move up one after that win against the Las Vegas Raiders. It wasn't a very impressive win, but I mean, it's still a win, so I guess we'll knock them up there. 7-7 now on the season. 19, we got the Dallas Cowboys. They beat the Carolina Panthers. Again, not really an impressive win, not a hard opponent, but it's still a win. These teams are technically in the hunt by definition, but they got to do a lot of praying that they're going to even make playoffs. A lot of things need to go their way. 18, the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, I actually thought they looked good for the majority of the season, but that last game was rough. With them losing, I was kind of only going to put them back one spot, but it started to become a blowout after that second half, and Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense went crazy and put up 40 points. So the Los Angeles Chargers, I unfortunately got dropped back to 2 spots. Now, the Arizona Cardinals, they did face the New England Patriots. It's not really that great of an opponent, but they did do solid, and they're creeping up in that division. Like I said, that division is up for grabs. It's crazy how the NFC West, like 2 years ago, I would have really said 2 or 3 years ago was the best division in the NFL. Now it's the NFC North for sure. I mean, you look at the Detroit Lions, the Vikings, and the Green Bay Packers, definitely the best division in the NFL. But yeah, the Arizona Cardinals, number 2, I mean, I like Kyler Murray a lot too. I feel like he's been a little bit cold recently, but I feel like he'll start to regain his touch a little bit. 16, we got the Cincinnati Bengals. Realistically, their record-wise, they shouldn't be this high. It is mainly their roster that is carrying them in the power rankings. But, like I said, this is a team that's in the hunt. A lot of things need to go their way, though. So they bump up 2 overalls after the win to the Tennessee Titans. It really wasn't even a pretty win against the Titans. I mean, it was a win, and it was by more than 7 points. But, I don't know. Even against the Titans and Will Levis throwing 3 interceptions, I feel like they could have definitely won the game by more points. But they still got a win, and I'm not gonna hate on them for getting a win. The Miami Dolphins, they just got a loss, so they are going to move back 4 overalls because it was actually a pretty embarrassing loss. Since Tua's return, they have been on fire, but they have really stalled out that last game. So they're going to move back 4 overalls. And one thing I do got to say about the Miami Dolphins is that Tyreek Hill, I don't know what is happening. I don't know what is happening with Tyreek Hill. And this is a little bit just from my personal self. This is me just spewing. But I'm mad at Tyreek Hill this season. Okay, I took him in fantasy in the first round. Okay, now I know fantasy, this doesn't relate to anything to power rankings, but I'm just saying, where's Tyreek Hill been? Even if I didn't take him on fantasy, I would just be like, what is going on with Tyreek Hill? Yeah, he's there. He's doing okay. Is he doing what Tyreek Hill normally does? Absolutely not. I don't know if it's his fault. I don't know if it's him not being involved in the game plan enough. I don't know if it's because Tua got injured and he didn't have quite a connection with the backup quarterback. I don't know, but Tyreek Hill, I mean, he's either getting washed or he is having an off season. At 13, we got the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans actually been looking pretty good. I mean, a 9-5 record, I believe they're sitting at, and it's in the AFC South, and you gotta love that. I mean, that division is so open, or so easy right now. The Colts are in a little bit of a rough spot, and so are the Jaguars. 12, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going up one spot. I did want to put them up too because they did just put up 40 points, but I'm sorry, they can't be ahead of the Steelers just because of the record. I mean, the Steelers got a better record, and the Steelers, I don't know, they just really got a better record. The Steelers have been playing good, but I'll get to why the Steelers dropped 4 in a second. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, though, absolutely on fire. Mike Evans, he's back. I mean, he's been back for like a couple weeks now. Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans, that is such a great connection. But there is definitely some random games where Baker Mayfield doesn't play the greatest. And I'm not hating on him. I mean, everyone does that. But you know what I mean. It's like more common. Like, do I think Baker Mayfield is elite? No, but he is proving the haters wrong this season. I wouldn't say he's a top 5 quarterback or anything, but he's having a great season. 11, Pittsburgh Steelers. They're going back 4 overalls because against the Eagles, that is a hard opponent. I get that, but it's about time the Steelers actually be efficient in the red zone or get to the red zone. This team has kicked so many field goals. Chris Boswell, I swear he needs to be paid. Big offseason for Chris Boswell. This guy has been absolutely money, and he has a lot of field goal attempts too. He has, like, if I don't know off the top of my head, but he probably has the most field goal attempts in the league right now. They need to stop settling for field goals. Nothing wrong with kicking a field goal because you're getting points on the board. Obviously, you want to get points on the board, but you can't do it every time. And they kind of showed there for the Pittsburgh Steelers that when they're facing a really good team and they're just kicking field goals, doesn't really quite work out. Only had 1 touchdown against the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, it is a hard opponent. I do understand that. But they really need to work on that offense efficiency. Defense is there. Defense is always there for the Steelers. As long as TJ Watt is wearing a Steelers uniform, I think the Steelers will always have a top 5 defense. Until I'm proven wrong, that's basically what it's been, because that's how good TJ Watt is. 10, we got the Seattle Seahawks. Now they're in the NFC West too. And the NFC West, like I said, a lot of opportunities, but slowly starting to look like the Rams are starting to run away. If the Seahawks keep falling, I mean, Geno Smith, he got injured, so that's another reason why they're knocked, and that was an embarrassing loss against the Green Bay Packers. All right, now 8, we got the Denver Broncos. They were able to still win against the Indianapolis Colts. Sloppy win, but they were able to do it. Defense looked pretty solid. They were able to contain Anthony Richardson. I know Anthony Richardson, sometimes he struggles, but I mean, you really, when you're facing a mobile quarterback, you really got that dual threat, like of guarding the run, or, oh, if we guard the run too much, he's gonna like pick apart and find soft coverage. But, you know, unfortunately for Anthony Richardson, he wasn't able to do that. But the Broncos, they got a win. I mean, yeah, it was a very sloppy win. Bo Nix, not his greatest performance, and I think Bo Nix has been having a great year. I think everyone has thought that. But they're able to get a win, so they're only up 1 overall. 7, we got the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers going up 5 overall. So that was a commanding win against the Seattle Seahawks. I mean, that was all basically a blowout until the fourth quarter. It got a little close, but if you watch the whole game, you can just tell the Green Bay Packers were dominating. It took Jordan Love until like his 12th pass attempt to throw an incompletion, I believe. Josh Jacobs has been looking good like he has been all season. Offensive line has been solid. Everything has looked pretty good for the Packers in that game. 6, we got the Baltimore Ravens going up 2 overalls. The Ravens, I mean, they did face a weak opponent. If they face someone else, maybe I'd bump them up 3, but they faced the New York Giants. Still a pretty commanding win. Lamar just having an amazing day doing what Lamar normally does. 5 total touchdowns for Lamar. Yeah, that is not common, but Lamar makes it seem common. 5, we got the Kansas City Chiefs after their win against the Cleveland Browns. They did win by 2 possessions. Main reason why they didn't move up is because Patrick Mahomes' injury. That is going to be crucial. It says week to week, and it says he has an ankle sprain. I think we're yet to find out if it's a high or low ankle sprain, but still, I mean, Patrick Mahomes' injury, it says week to week, but we all know how early these injury reports are, how inaccurate they can be. just the day after. I feel like we'll really find out maybe tomorrow or the 2 days down the road. But honestly, you could have made a fair case to bump the Kansas City Chiefs back. I mean, yeah, they only have one loss on the season, but if they're losing Patrick Mahomes for a good bit going into playoffs, I mean, I think you can bump them back, but we won't mess with them now until we find out what the injury quite is. Number 4, we got the Minnesota Vikings. They're going to stay in the same spot. They had a pretty good win against the Chicago Bears, a nice division win. Only reason they didn't go up is because the teams ahead of them are still better record, better roster, better coaching, in my opinion. 3, the Detroit Lions. Now, I know you think, wow, the Detroit Lions were just 1, bumping them back 2 against 1 loss to the Bills. I mean, yeah, it didn't look good. I mean, that defense has got to be there for Detroit. It really does. I mean, Jared Goff has been so amazing. Everything in that Detroit has been so amazing. I remember not even not even 5 years ago, 3 years ago, where the Lions were the laughing stock of the league. And I mean, now look at them. It's crazy how much they have transformed. But anyway, yeah, the Lions mainly there because the defense has got to be better. Also, injury, very important injury. David Montgomery torn his MCL. He is out for the entire season, including playoffs, obviously. That is a pretty big loss. I mean, Sonic and Knuckles, you're going to need that duo. It is nice. I mean, I think Jahmyr Gibbs will be fine without David Montgomery, but it's definitely going to impact them because David Montgomery, I mean, he is more of the bruiser running back. He will go and break some tackles. He'll put his head down. Jahmyr Gibbs is more of the shifty guy. I mean, obviously, they're both great at both. I mean, they're both pretty good running backs, but yeah. I mean, it is definitely going to affect Jahmyr Gibbs and that Detroit Lion offense in general. Now, yes, I do know the Buffalo Bills, they technically have a worse record than the Detroit Lions, but they just beat them. They are more healthy, and Josh Allen has been going crazy as of late. Same with James Cook. James Cook has been doing good as well. But yeah, Josh Allen's been, ever since he's got engaged, I don't know if you know, he got engaged 2 weeks ago, or 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he's had amazing performances since. So there's a joke going around saying engaged Josh Allen is I don't know, the best Josh Allen, the best version of Josh Allen, and it's definitely looking that way so far. Josh Allen, definitely a big-time MVP candidate, along with Lamar Jackson and Saquon. And speaking of the man Saquon, him and the Philadelphia Eagles, we're going to give him the number 1 spot. For the first time this year, Philadelphia Eagles are ranked number 1. Now, don't get too happy, Eagles fans, because it's by a slim margin, but, I mean, you guys deserve it. You guys took out a team in the top 10 last week, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Did it pretty good, like I said. You made their offense not shine at all. The combo, Jalen Hurts, Saquon, A.J. Brown, and Devontae Smith on offense, I mean, that is just scary. Not even to mention Dallas Goedert, who is normally forgotten about, which, I mean, that offense, I mean, it's just crazy. That is seriously a video game assembled offense that I would do in some sort of Madden rebuild where I just trade away all my picks. But yeah, I mean, they still got a great offensive line, and that's why Saquon's really able to thrive, I feel like. I mean, yeah, Saquon's a natural gifted athlete who is amazing, but man, it makes your life a lot easier when you have a great offensive line, and that is a majority of the reason why the Philadelphia Eagles are number 1. Let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions down below. If you agree, what you disagree with. Let me know any more video ideas. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.